Yesterday, I crossed the threshold into my 77th year. That is more than 3 decades past what people call a midlife crisis. From where I sit now, looking back at the long, jagged mountain path I've just climbed, the view is terrifyingly clear. I see the peaks I conquered, but more importantly, I see the valleys where I lingered too long, distracted by shadows. I have to tell you something, and it's going to sting. Most of you are living your lives as if you've discovered a secret spring of eternal time. You treat your days like loose change found in a sofa, spending them on trivialities, distractions, and meaningless drama. You act as if there's an infinite line of credit in your biological bank account. But I am here to tell you, as a man watching the sun dip below the horizon, the bank is preparing to close its doors. I wish someone had grabbed me by the collar when I was 25 or even 45, forced me to look them in the eye and told me what I am about to tell you. I've distilled 77 years of blood, sweat, victories, and most importantly, crushing regrets into these 12 lessons. If you listen, you can save yourself 40 years of unnecessary suffering. If you don't, you will inevitably end up in a chair like this, wondering where the ghost of your life went. The hardest pill to swallow is the realization that nobody is coming to save you. We spend our youth waiting for a protagonist to end our story, a government that cares, a boss who recognizes our hidden genius, a partner who fixes our broken parts, or a lucky break that changes everything. It's a fairy tale. If your life is a chaotic mess, it's your mess. If your bank account is empty, that's your signature on the checks. If your body is failing because of neglect, that's your fork and your couch. Stop looking at the horizon for a hero. Turn the camera around. You are the only person with the keys to your prison cell. Act like the owner of your life, not a spectator. You cannot control the storm, the economy, or the whims of the people you love. You will be fired, you will be betrayed, and you will face loss. Most men react to these events like children. They throw tantrums, they blame the world, they sink into bitterness. But there is one realm where you're an absolute dictator. Your response. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you translate it. A real man controls the lens through which he views his struggles. If you change your perspective, the very nature of your reality shifts. Perspective isn't just a thought, it's a tool. Fix your lens and you fix your world. I'll start tomorrow is the most successful lie ever told to humanity. Tomorrow is a fantasy land where all dreams are eventually buried. Every time you delay the gym, the business plan, or the difficult conversation, you aren't just postponing. You are actively breaking a contract with yourself. Each broken promise makes your soul a little weaker, a little more fragile. Discipline isn't a cage, it's the only path to true freedom. The top 10% of people aren't necessarily smarter. They are simply the ones who did the boring, grueling work when they felt like doing nothing at all. Young men treat their bodies like rental cars they intend to crash. They fuel themselves with poison, skip sleep, and ignore the engine lights blinking in their chests. At 77, I tell you, your body is the only house you truly own. My knees are a constant reminder of every mile I didn't respect. I would trade every dollar in my name for 1 hour of the vitality you are currently wasting. Health is a crown that only the sick can see. You cannot buy it back once the debt comes due. If you don't make time for your wellness, you will be forced to spend all your time on your illness. I worked 60-hour weeks for decades. I told myself I was doing it for them, for my wife and kids. I bought the big house and the expensive vacations, but I wasn't there. I was physically present but mentally miles away, staring at a pager or a phone. Children don't want your presence, they want your presence. They won't remember the $500 toy from 2024. They will remember that you were looking at a screen when they showed you their first drawing. They will remember the empty seat at their graduation. Don't sacrifice your family on the altar of a career that will replace you in 2 weeks if you drop dead. People say money doesn't buy happiness, but that's usually a comfort for those who refuse to work for it. Money matters because it buys options and reduces the friction of life. However, the greatest investment is in the stock market or real estate. It's the person sitting in your chair. Skills, knowledge, and emotional intelligence are assets that no market crash can take away. If you build yourself into a high-value man, the money will naturally follow you like a shadow. I hear men in their 30s talking like their lives are over. It's too late to change careers, they say. Or, I'm too old to get fit. It is absolute self-serving nonsense. Colonel Sanders didn't find his path until his 60s. I am 77 and I'm telling you that you have decades of potential left. Stop using your age as a shield for your mediocrity. But remember the paradox. While it is never too late to start, you also don't have a second to waste. Anger is a hot coal you hold in your hand while waiting to throw it at someone else. At 77, I've seen many of my enemies and friends pass away. All that bitterness, it amounts to nothing. Stop carrying the weight of old arguments. Forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you don't deserve to carry the trash of the past in your pockets. You are the first generation to be constantly hunted by the thief of attention. You spend hours scrolling through the lives of strangers, while your own life sits waiting in the hallway. Put the device down. Look at the trees. Talk to your neighbor. Feel the sun. Reality is far more interesting than the curated digital lies you consume. Comfort is a slow death. The modern world tries to remove all friction, but friction is what creates heat and light. Don't pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. The most valuable parts of my character didn't come from my wins. They were forged in the fires of my most humiliating failures. 11. The fragility of love. Love isn't a feeling, it's a verb. It's a daily decision to put someone else's needs alongside your own. I've seen more marriages die from neglect than from explosions. Like a garden, if you stop watering it for a week, it starts to wilt. If you stop for a year, it turns to dust. Don't take your partner for granted. 12. The final accountability. In the end, there is only you and the mirror. You won't care about your job title or how many people liked your photos. You will care about whether you were brave when it counted, whether you were kind when it was hard, and whether you actually lived the life you wanted or just the one that was expected of you. I look at a photo of myself at 25. I had the world at my feet, but I didn't have the wisdom to walk the right path. You have that energy right now, and I've just given you the map. Don't wait until you're 77 to realize you were living someone else's script. The clock isn't just ticking, it's counting down. Go do the work,